from NIT Surat. And then I joined, actually I was doing mechanical engineering, and then my interest was in physics, and then I shifted my career from engineering to physics. And now I joined the Sorbonne University as a master's student in theoretical physics and mathematics. And right now I'm doing master's second year from École Normale Supérieure and specializing in quantum technologies.
Okay. So so you're going for a PhD program?
So this year I'll finish my master, and then next year I'll start my PhD program.
And where this university is?
This university is in Paris.
Okay. Hey, Mukund, how about you?
I'm good. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Mukund. And I've completed my bachelor's from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Technical University, which is the State University of Uttar Pradesh, in 2019. Since then, for past 1.5 years, I worked on a biomechanics research at IIT Bombay. And then I published a few papers. And then I shifted to a renewable energy research, remote research that has been done with National University of Singapore, that I've been doing for around 6 to 7 months. And currently I'm about to join RWTH Aachen University in a couple of months as a master's student there in computer-aided mechanical engineering program.
And where is it?
Aachen. It's on the border of Berlin and Germany.
Okay.
Border of Germany and Netherlands.
Okay. And Siddharth, how about you?
Yeah, hi. So, hi everyone. So I'm Siddharth Pandit, a BTech graduate in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from NIT Trichy. So I'm quite passionate about working in the field of renewable energy and contributing positively in mitigating the climate change crisis. So by finding innovative solutions to various renewable energy systems. That's why. Before going into where I'll be studying my masters, so let me give you a bit of a backstory as to how I ventured into this field. So in my third year of bachelor's, I did an internship at IISc Bangalore, where I was first introduced to this vast field of renewable energy systems. So after that, I did a couple of internships at IIT Guwahati, and after finishing my bachelor's last year, I worked at a I worked at a leading think tank in India named Center for Study of Science, Technology and Policy, also known as CSTEP. Where I worked on different wind energy related projects. Due to this, it was only a logical step for me to pursue my master's in this same field. I'll be starting my master's in renewable energy next month in a dual degree master's program in Europe. Under which I'll be studying 1 year at École Polytechnique in Paris, and the second year will be at KTH, Royal Institute of Technology in Sweden.
Hey Shiv, how about you?
I'm fine. I will be pursuing my master's at RWTH this fall in metallurgical engineering. So basically, my idea of doing research was not sure, as I talked in earlier meetings with you. But but one thing I was sure that I will not be going for the PhD. First, I will do masters, so that there is a kind of assurance in myself that I'm ready for the research area or not. Or if things got worked out, then I will move to PhD later on.
Okay. Hey, so one question I have for all of you guys, and you guys can chime in, and whoever wants to answer it. Why Europe? Why not US? Which is very unusual for a lot of students. Like for me, right? I came to US. Europe never came to my mind because that was the usual choice. I did my BTech from IIT Varanasi, 2004, and lot of people were going for an internship for Europe for having fun, but nobody decided to go to Europe to go for their higher studies and something. So any of you guys can chime in, like why you guys selected Europe, because that is one question that I hear most of the time. And whatever the reason could be, whether it could be financial, personal or professional, or anything that people don't know about that you would like to share. Anyone?
Yeah, I can start. So for me, it was an easier decision to make because as I said, I'll be studying renewable energy as master. So as many of you would know, Europe has been at the forefront of sustainable energy transition and renewable energy deployment for more than a decade now. So especially countries like Sweden, France, Germany, Denmark, all of these countries have already invested billions of euros in this sector and are expected to do even more in the coming decade. So since I wanted to pursue a master's in the same field, so I decided to target the top European university itself. So it was an easy choice for me.
For
And
any,
sir,
yeah.
I would like to add, like, first of all, the thing was that I was preparing for the GATE, and when I searched on the web that which are the colleges accepting GATE score, so two are in Germany and two were in Singapore. And actually, I did not have any prior experience of research internship and not the CGPA above 9. I applied it into, but till now I haven't got any reply from them. And so, then I was left with two colleges, Technical University of Munich and RWTH Aachen University. So both of them were accepting GATE scores. But the issue was in Technical University of Munich, the course was in German, and in RWTH course was in English. And second part was that the finances, like being from not a very sound financial background, Germany I think is a very good destination to study. And apart from that, the last and the most important thing I liked about the course, like in BTech, like I done my BTech from NIT Jamshedpur. When I was in fifth semester, we came back home, and ultimately we did our BTech in a stipulated time of 4 years, no matter if the pandemic is there or not. So, but in Europe, things don't work like that. It's not like you have to complete the master's in 2 years. You take your time, how much you want to do research, you do internships. So that is the thing I like most.
How about you, Uncle? Because your subjects are very unusual from science.
So personally for me, it was like, for me, there was two reasons. So in US and in other countries, they accept GRE physics and GRE general for especially physics programs,
Right.
physics graduate programs. So after completing my engineering studies, like I was passionate for physics. So until my final year study, I had 8 research publications and enough research experience. But US universities acknowledge only GRE physics score for admitting the engineering background students. So I left with only few choices like European countries and Australia. So I got accepted into ANU, and in Europe, Ecole Polytechnique and Sorbonne and Ecole Normale Supérieure had one combined joint course, which is like right now I'm pursuing, and the other programs were in Germany, like the LMU and TUM. But for me, especially for me, the research I want to pursue after my master's is more like interesting to the Paris lab. So that's why I joined here. And the second reason, I like European culture too. So after maybe finishing my master, I'll prefer to join PhD program in Europe itself, not going to the US. So they are quite like 2-3 reasons.
Mukund, anything else that hits out on you differently than these guys spoke?
Yeah, I'll be honest here. So initially, I was inclined to go to the United States, and I secured a few admissions there also. And typically, what we have heard about Germany is that they are more percentage centric, and they look at your transcripts, and that's the primary factor for your admission. And that was the belief, that system that I had. But recently, RWTH Aachen University started an executive program wherein they kept an admission criteria similar to very similar to the one that is being followed in the United States. And that's how I started looking back towards the Europe options. And that's how and then talking about RWTH Aachen University, the course curriculum is indeed one of the finest course curriculums that I could find amongst many other universities that were in parallel in the United States. And apart from that, looking at the hindsight, one advantage that I see is regarding the PhD programs, for example, the stipend amount that we get, the stipend or salary that we get during PhD in Europe is much higher as compared to given in the United States. So that is also indeed a factor that kind of drives me towards Europe than United States.
So one thing I've heard like this, I know what for that sure is, like in US, if you come for a master's program, 99% chance you have to pay from your pocket. And in Germany especially, I don't know about other places, or it might be same, you don't have to pay tuition. So that's a good motivating factor probably for students to apply to Germany, or not?
Yeah, definitely. For Germany, it's a big plus. Most of the people prefer Germany because of that factor.
So you don't pay for your tuition, or you don't pay for some other things, or how do you manage then your housing, your food, your rent, or your whatever other stuff? How do you manage that?
So essentially, there are two components of the fees. One is tuition fee, which is for most courses zero, and then there's a contribution on a semester contribution. So that's around 300 to 500 euros per semester, depending on the city in which you're living, and that essentially covers all the that subsidizes a lot of travel and meal expenses that you might be having during your stay at Germany. That's one thing. Secondly, regarding the stay, yes, you have to pour in some money in the beginning, but over the course of 2.5 years or 2 years, most of the people are able to recover, let's say, around 60 to 70% of the amount that they had poured in for the living expenses.
Like, they can work somewhere, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
On campus or out campus?
Yes. 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 And
Okay.
one more thing is that in United States, typically, it's rare to find master students getting a research assistantship offer.
That's what I
Because
said.
yeah,
Most
but in
for PhDs.
yeah, but
Yeah.
in Germany they tend to give a lot of scholarships to master students also. That's
So
also a lucrative part here.
so is it, this is just applies to Germany or to other like France or Italy or other places?
In France, it's quite difficult. Like for me, I didn't have much time to do as a research assistant job, part-time job. I had to stick with my curriculum, and then fortunately, university were offering some limited scholarship for 5, 6 international students. So I got into that, and
Okay.
this is how I'm managing my housing and all expenses. But as in terms of tuition fee, there's very limited tuition fee. Like I pay 240 euro per annum, but recently they have started taking money from international students from this year onwards. So yeah, and as Shiv Shankar said, like in Germany you can extend your master program, but here it's quite different. Like you have two separate years, M1 and M2, and you have to go through the selection criteria after completing your master 1. So again, you have to pass through the competition and selection procedures, then only you can enter into the second year of masters.
Okay.
And you have to complete it, otherwise you have to repeat the same year.
So let me ask you another question is, do you guys have ever applied for those Commonwealth scholarship like roads or anything like that? Or one, that is one of the scenarios. I know that would be very difficult, but that's also a venue, right? Where you can get these scholarships and go to Cambridge and things like that, right?
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I can answer for this. So there's a scholarship named as Careerpedia scholarship given by the French government to Indian students. So yeah, I applied for that and I received that. So under that scholarship, they give a monthly stipend and also a tuition fee waiver
Okay.
for selected students. So there are a few other scholarships as well given by the French government, like the Eiffel scholarship, or there are a couple of others. So yeah, for Germany, it's this case, and I have heard that for Netherlands as well, there are a few scholarships like the Holland scholarship and given by the Dutch government to
So
Indian
is
students.
there a source that students can look at in like website or
Yeah,
something? Like they
yeah,
go to the
mainly all
embassy website, or they go to like
right. So for the French government scholarships, you can find all the information on the French embassy in India,
okay.
and for other scholarships, most of the information will be given in the university website itself. So you don't have to look at other websites.
The other question I have for all of you guys is probably what are your plans after you finish your education? So if you can talk about it, like what you guys would like to do after you finish your education. When I say would like to, you mention location also, because that's important, right? Because the reason I ask you this question is one of the things that I firmly believe, because I have done my education from US, is such a big funnel. It absorbs everyone, no matter what, right? I would like to know what happens, like students who graduate from Europe, like in Germany or in France or something. I know the intake is less, but what you guys have heard about, if you decide to stay there, or what are the other options available, or what students usually do when they graduate from there? Mukund, you want to go? Yeah.
Sure. So talking about Germany, first of all, I'll talk about my plan. So since I've been involved in the research work for a couple of years, so I'm pretty much inclined to do further my studies into that. So I'll be pursuing my PhD, preferably from Germany or UK.
Mhm.
That's my plan as of now.
Okay.
And yes, and regarding the options that students typically choose in Germany is either going for a job, or the other option that we have in Germany is an industrial PhD. That is something that I found really fascinating, and I read about it lately. So industrial PhD is something that we do in collaboration with an industry, wherein you are doing a research, plus you are also affiliated with a university and a company. So
And
it's more of a job.
how easy is to get those jobs, or they are quite difficult? I mean, from getting visas to get apply those jobs, and what is the level of competition that you guys get from European students?
So regarding PhD, I don't have any information
No, no,
because I
I'm
haven't.
talking strictly like in terms of finding a job.
Yeah, so job typically it's more or less similar to the competition that we have in US. But one of the big barriers that we have in the Germany is language,
Okay,
definitely. But it's something that can be covered in a span of 2.5 years,
okay.
because it's not because they don't expect from us to have a very proficient poetic kind of German proficiency. They just want a proficiency wherein we are able to conversate with the other person standing on the dais. So
But
that can be.
like visas or something, I have no issues from
No,
immigration perspective.
visa
There's
is
no.
pretty. No, visa is pretty easy, especially in Germany. Yeah. So if you're having the degree and if you're working there, then the path is relatively much smoother. I haven't heard of a significant barrier that people usually face while getting visa or PR status and all those kind of things.
Siddharth and Shiv, you want to add something here?
Basically,
So
my plan
like
is also to, yes, that
if-
continue.
yeah, okay. So like Mukund said, the main barrier working in Europe is the language. Apart from that, I don't think there are many other big barriers.
Okay.
So yeah, and so like in Germany, in France as well, they expect a bit minimum basic level of understanding of French language. So apart from that, it's pretty much same as the US market. So it's not like the jobs are less over here or something like that. But if you have a basic understanding of the local language over here, it's easy to get the job.
So from the
And
seniors or your friends you have spoken to, they pretty much say that, we stay here, it's okay to, you can find a job and you can have a life there, right? It's not like you have to go
yeah,
out and do some. Okay. And does the European
yeah,
Union plays a
definitely.
role? You can if you work in study in Germany, you can go to France or things like that. That's easy.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. So once you have a visa of any one country, you can pretty much go to any country to find work. So after finding work, you'll obviously have to take work visa of that particular country. But just to find work, you can go in any country and look for the job. So
What
it's
about you,
pretty
uncle?
easy.
I see
So
you becoming a
personally, me,
professor, but
it's totally different for me. Like after completing my master, definitely I'll go for PhD. But the language barrier in physics or mathematics in research is not that bad. So currently I'm working in a lab. So definitely, if you want a good life outside the academia, you definitely have to learn the regional language. Suppose
right.
they almost talk about like. Out of the lab work they talk in French only, and this is how it works. And after PhD, like preferably I'll try to get into the some of the good labs which are in Munich, and some of the are in Austria, and some of the
So
are in
so
Madrid.
like getting jobs in a national lab or in academic, how if you have
So
any idea like how easy it is? Look, for example, in US, if you want to get into a national lab here, there are some national labs you can't as an international student because of
yeah,
your
exactly.
work nature.
So
So how
here
about
it's different. So you can enter into any there's no such kind of national lab here. So there are some research lab center where you can enter as a research assistant or maybe postdoc after completing your PhD, or maybe you can also enter as a like permanent position engineer or scientist. So
right?
it's quite different from there. And from my view of perspective, like I prefer to go into industry or maybe working in a lab compared to the going for maybe professors or academia job. But yeah, let's see. And the most like preference I'll give to join any mega science projects such as
Right.
CERN or LIGO. So there are some international mega science projects which I'll prefer to join after my PhD.
Okay. And let me talk divert this talk a little bit different. In US, the perception is the geopolitics has changed the environment, the immigration, and this and that. I mean, I usually hear that from students. What about Europe? That do you guys hear anything about? Because the immigration has affected everyone. People are pouring in from all over the world to Germany and to all these countries, right? Have you guys heard about the change in the policies from government, and or you have seen any changes that were pretty lenient, now they are little bit stringent, and whether it's looking for a job or getting into admission, or for that matter staying in that country? Is that any thought on that aspect that you guys have looked upon or heard about, that you would like to talk about to future students who are applying or who want to come, for example?
I would like to add, like yesterday, I saw one post in the group Bharat in Germany. So one guy was there. His father got his father was not well in COVID, so he wanted to bring back his parents here. But I don't know about the exact what are the rules and regulations for the immigration. So he was quite frustrated and saying that they are not allowing, like we can't bring our parents here in Germany. So that kind of thing is there. Like if you are like in visa only, we have to say that we won't be staying in Germany. Like in Germany, not only Germany, every country, that after studying we will be get back to India. So there, that is the thing that, and one of the most important thing, like what senior told me, that Germany is a country where you can do like whatever you want to study, you want to explore. But one thing is most important: you have to learn German. If you are not going to learn German, starting from the part-time job, either is it non-technical or heavy is research assistantship, everything will become difficult. So yeah, German is the most important thing.
So it applies for other countries too, but in terms of USA right now, I have some of the friends from other industries who are working, and they got really like easy opportunity after they were completing studies. So they applied to the different countries like Germany, France, and other Austrian countries, Austria, and the other industries, and it was pretty smooth as they told me. And compared to the US, you have like very getting visa is quite difficult, as I have heard about. And even for PhD, I have a few friends who got rejected for their PhD studies. Like if they are studying, they are going for nuclear study or atomic science or laser, ultra fast laser science, the visa got rejected. I don't know why, but in terms of like getting visa or migration, coming to Europe is quite easy as a student.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, that happens. You if it's if it has something to related with national security, it in US, I would say they are extra careful after 9/11. You have to understand that they went through that process, right? Nobody other did, so they are much more careful in that regard. Okay. So I mean, that's probably my final question. But if there is a student who is in freshman year, first year, what do you guys suggest? And if they want to come to Europe, how early they should prepare? What are the factors they should decide on, or what? And if I ask you, like, if you are in freshman year now, and what do's and don'ts that you guys suggest, or you would have not done, if you guys can speak. Siddharth, you want to go?
Yeah, sure.
This is for someone
So
who is thinking of going to Europe for higher studies as a freshman, first year, second year. So what type of preparation they need to do, and how early they need to start, and what they should look at, especially from the scholarship point of view.
right. Yeah. So for scholarship, so for the first suggestion would be to focus on your CGPA, because most of the European universities have a high weightage of the academic marks and all the uh, things, internships and the other papers which were published also. So like the top universities like the ETH Zurich and the TU Delft in Netherlands. So all these universities mainly focus on your CGPA, and after that other factors obviously are there. But the first factor is CGPA, and then uh, uh, of course, so yeah, one advantage of going applying to European universities is that most of the universities don't require GRE as a score as compared to USA. So the only exam you will have to give is TOEFL or IELTS as an English proficiency test, and that's it. And then apart from that, yeah, focus on your apart from academics as well, you focus on doing some internships in your third year or fourth year. That will surely help in uh, help you in gaining experience in your said field. And yeah, that's it. So the main things which the European entities ask is your SOP, the letter of recommendation from your professor or any mentor of yours, and uh, the TOEFL score and your resume and CV. So yeah, these are the main things which you can focus on.
How about Mukund?
Yeah. So one difference that I see in German programs as compared to United States program is, for instance, if I'll talk about United States program, so there'll be MS in mechanical engineering. However, when you talk about programs in Germany, so they'll be very specific to a particular research area, a particular domain within mechanical engineering. Indeed, in United States also we have a bigger concentration, but it's not that stringent as compared to the one that we have in Germany. So over the course of 4 years that a guy will be spending in the bachelor's, in the 4 years, one should build a clarity about what fields do really excite him or her. Because if you're planning to spend next 2 to 2.5 years in a master's program, then you should be having a pretty good clarity that this is the field that you want to get into. Obviously, you can change, but yeah. So for doing that, so there are two things. For one option that one can do is just do one internship and then go into the depth of that particular research area by doing multiple research projects in the same field. That's one thing that people can do. The other option is to try out different research projects, and that's what I did. And by doing so in the span of 3 to 4 years, one will be able to build a clarity about what research projects do really excite them. Then a third thing that I did during my undergrad was that I went to scopus.com, and then I went to the university websites of multiple top universities, and then I tried to see categorize the research projects that they are having, and then I made a chart of what are the research areas that are booming in the next 10 to 15 years. So biomechanics, nanotechnology, and renewable energy, these were some areas that were pretty lucrative to me. So these kind of studies can give you an insight of which area might excite you. Yeah, and regarding scholarships, yeah. So CGPA is so it should be written in bold and capital that CGPA should be really good if you want to secure a good scholarship, because it will certainly not be a criteria for admission, but it will be a criteria for rejection. So if you're having a poor CGPA, you'll surely get rejected. Yeah. So having a good CGPA is a must.
How about Uncle?
So as Mukund said, it's really important to know your particular interest of area and area of interest. So personally, when I was in second year, I started looking on the top universities lab and the professor they're working in, and then I found quite interesting project, and then I just keep following all those 10 to 15 professors and their progress. So doing this sort of case studies and research analysis gives you more insight about the area of research which you want to pursue after your bachelor's. So it's really important. And
Is it more because you are trying to get a scholarship, or is it more because you are trying to gauge your interest from that perspective?
it is to gain more interest perspective. For scholarship, it doesn't matter. For scholarship, you definitely have to build your CV and the CGPA criteria. But for building CGPA or building CV, it's really important to know your area of interest. Then only you can go for different internship and project. So
No, the reason I say so, you, for example, in US, if you want to get into a scholarship, you have to shake hands with the professor. So early shaping, which you're talking about, is better, because there are two ways to get admission in US, right? One is you just apply randomly to a grad school, hoping that you will accept, hoping that a professor will pick your application and he or she will like it, and hoping that it will give you a scholarship. For masters I'm talking about, or more so in PhD too. But other way to get around, which I did, is I started working on a project which I enjoyed, and then looked at a professor, as you said, Uncle and Mukul, and then emailed them that, you know, this is my research, this is what I did, I want to work under you. And that guy said, good for you, good for me, here's the scholarship, come, you know. So in that regard, I was asking that question.
So I guess in European universities, let's say they have 10 limited scholarship, number of scholarship, and
Okay.
they admit around 40 students. So they will pick up like top 10 students, and then they'll offer you the scholarship. Otherwise, they won't.
So
So
the
it
scholarship
varies.
is not based on you spoke to your professor, it's based on what your CV, your
Yeah, the
GPA and all.
CV and the
Okay.
whole profile.
Got it. Anything else you want to add, Shiv?
Yes, sir. Actually, I haven't followed this approach like contacting professor, because until this February 21, I was not sure about going abroad. So I just applied to only RWTH. But yeah, during the GATE preparation, I was sure about that. Yeah, I like metallurgy and which areas I'm strong, like physical metallurgy, mechanical metallurgy, that was more inclining to me. So I was not like afraid of the research, but yeah, I was not like I will go to research just after my BTech. I was like, we'll do some job after 2 to 3 years, then I will sort out what to do. But yeah, but things got worked out, and I thought that yeah, it's the time to check my ability or the research, whatever the area I'm interested in. So I moved in. I haven't contacted any professors or like in second or third year.
Okay, great. So just yeah, go ahead, Mugan. You're saying something.
Yeah, one more addition that I thought of adding to your discussion that you were having regarding contacting professors. So one thing that I've seen with undergraduate students is that they have an hesitation for applying for research internships abroad. They probably think that they are not good enough for something, but even if you talk about the students from the top universities like IIT Bombay, IIT Delhi, so even there the ratios of successful research opportunity turnout could be 1:50. So the ratios are always less, but one should not step back before even getting into the field, and one should just send the emails and see what happens, because luck might favor you sometimes, and you might get a good internship. If you're getting a good internship, if you're able to convince the professor that you are a good candidate, then directly you can convert that research internship into a potential PhD or master's program, possibly. So yeah, that should be tried out.
So one last question that came to my mind. Answer is yes or no. If you get a chance to, or would you choose? If you get a chance to go to do your masters in Europe or in US without a scholarship, which one you choose?
Europe for me, especially masters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm saying which one you choose, or you won't go anywhere without a scholarship. I'm saying. I mean, related understanding
masters,
both are equal universities.
For masters, it's 100% for me. Europe.
Without a scholarship, you will go to Europe still.
Yes.
Okay. Because I think you talked about Germany, right? Because they don't ask tuition, right? So okay. And
So
given the condition that both are equal universities, I'll prefer US, to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
for me, I'll prefer
For me,
to come to
I'll
Europe, and like in Paris, even you're not paying any tuition fee, still the living cost is really high. At least you have to be like prepared for 800 euro per month. So
I'm a little bit surprised you didn't talk much about what happens after studies actually. So that's one thing probably I will spend time to talk with you guys now. So and as you said, first of all, thanks to all of you to have this discussion. The time is running out, so I won't engage you too much. But if you guys need any advice from me, please reach out to me. I will love to talk to you one-on-one and share my experiences. But one thing I would give a honest piece of advice to you guys. Always make decisions based on now why I'm doing it and what will happen after that. Our decisions should be based on that. It should not be based on what I'm getting now. It should be based on what will happen after me. So whether you go for higher studies, why should I go there, or what are the opportunities that lie ahead? Am I missing something? right? Whether you're going to join a job, why I'm joining a job, this one, not the other one. And so, as I said, you will realize later on your career, and I'm pretty sure you guys will have a very, fascinating career throughout, but you will realize that is the most important key of success. Actually, I'm talking about not happiness, emotional type of thing, but in a professional career, what does the success means, right? And choosing that is extremely important, whether it's academics or whether it's anywhere. I had a very good friend, actually, senior of mine from my college. He was the one who motivated us to go for higher studies, and that's what helped us to move on. He went to do his PhD, master's at MIT, and then he did PhD at MIT. Then he did a couple of postdocs. Now he's a professor at Cambridge. You will find it out that people, and you will shape your career in different directions. I would say, if you ask me, if I would have gotten a choice, I would have probably gone to Europe for my master's and did PhD in US. That's what I would have selected if I go and look back on, because the experience is what it matters. Doesn't matter what university you go or what it matters, where you go. The experience that you gain around outside school or within a school, or networks that you make, you will realize are extremely important. So when you're out there, explore as much as you can, learn as much as you can, but don't also try to look at what else is out there, what else you can do. That you will realize is very valuable. But thanks very much to all of you. And as I said to you, if you guys have any questions or any concern in future or now, please reach out to me, and we will talk. Thanks very much.
Thank you. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah, nice talking to you guys.
Thank-
Bye.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot.
for calling us.